Thank you. Please turn your attention to midfield as we honor our nation with the presentation of colors and the singing of our national anthem by Sergeant Betty White.
Indy 11 Soccer is brought to you by your Central Indiana Honda dealers, proud to be the official automotive sponsor of the Indy 11. And by Community Health, exceptional care simply delivered. Community Health Network. For the first time this season, the roof is open here at Lucas Oil Stadium. A gorgeous night for soccer. We thank you for joining us here either on My Indy TV or ESPN+. Key battle in the Eastern Conference tonight between the Indy 11 and the Charleston Battery. Welcome to the broadcast booth alongside Brad Hodder. Greg Rakestraw with you. We thank you so much for joining us. Brad, what are your expectations in this one?
You referenced it. It's a key battle. You take a look at two teams that are in the top of the table in a very, very competitive Eastern Conference. There's a massive 3 points at stake tonight.
We touched on the Evan Newton scoreless streak. It is clearly a team effort. If you extend that to Open Cup play on Wednesday night, the Indy 11 have now played 4 matches in Indianapolis this year, and they have yet to give up a goal.
Yeah, and they're doing it with different guys, sometimes when they're a man down. But the impressive part is not just the goals. They also haven't allowed many shots.
2 of those matches playing a man down. Go back to the Tampa Bay game. They barely had a shot on goal. You see some great saves from Evan Newton in that last league shutout against North Carolina FC 2 weeks ago. This team went from, I wouldn't say defense was a liability in April. It has clearly been much better in the month of May. Time now for our starting lineups for tonight's match. They are presented by Honda Manufacturing of Indiana, the official automotive sponsor of the Indy 11. 7 players roll over from Wednesday's starting 11 for head coach Martin Rennie. But how about Lucas Farias? The native of Brazil has played 1 minute all year. He gets a start tonight.
Yeah, he's played 1 minute on the field, but through training and through Martin's extensive understanding of his game, he certainly is ready for this match tonight.
Similar for head coach Mike Anhauser of the Charleston Battery. They will roll over 6 starters from Wednesday's Open Cup win in Greenville. But Joe Kuzminski, their goalkeeper, did not start on Wednesday. He is the reigning USL goalkeeper of the week as part of the USL Team of the Week. We reference Mike Anhauser, the head coach of the Charleston Battery. This is a homecoming for him from Fort Wayne. Played at a national championship team at Indiana University, and he has now spent the last quarter century playing for or coaching the Charleston Battery.
Can you believe that? And that doesn't happen in professional soccer. When you take a look at the volume it speaks for the organization and the character of Coach Anhauser. But you also look at the players. They keep the players. They keep the assistant coach. They keep the head coach. It's impressive.
It's part of the reason why they have 15 players back from last year's roster for this Charleston team. But one they do not would be Neville Hackshaw, now playing for the Indy 11 after 75 matches the last 3 years in Charleston. There you see Neville. It's not hard to find Neville with for the camera guys. Look for the hair. He's got a couple of goals. He's been a fantastic addition for head coach Martin Rennie.
Yeah, he's going to be fired up. There's no feeling pre-game like playing against your old team.
Lucas Zapala is our match referee. He's about to give the signal for the Charleston Battery to get things started. We touched on this briefly when these two teams played a year ago. It wasn't the result of the year for the Indy 11. It was the match of the year. 3-3 with each team scoring in stoppage time here almost a year ago on May 30th.
Just an absolutely crazy finish. I think in the span of about 5 or 6 minutes, we go from we're thinking we're getting a point to we're thinking we're getting 3 points to now we're getting a point again.
This is an Indy 11 team that was scoring goals by the bunches in the month of April. So we can talk about how the defense has really picked things up for the Indy 11. Offensively, that's not been the case. 0-0 draws at home May 1st and May 4th. They did get a goal, a man down in Open Cup play on Wednesday. Offensively, what needs to change other than simply finding the back of the net?
Well, the easy thing to say is, look, let's play with 11 guys the whole game. You take a look at this little scoring drought that they're on, and you've played 140 minutes down a man. You still haven't conceded a goal, but that does impact your ability to generate dynamic play in the attacking third.
You almost just completely write off the Open Cup match and the match against Tampa Bay. The last two Wednesday night matches saying, hey, if there's any offensive issues, don't worry about that.
Right.
You got a point in the league match. You got a result in the Open Cup match.
And you got a veteran team. They all know that. They all see that. You don't panic in a moment like that because it's such a heroic way that you pulled a point with Tampa Bay that you walk out of that feeling like it was a 4-0 win.
Bit of a giveaway that time by Jared Van Schaik, one of the many veteran members of this Charleston Battery roster. When these two teams played the second time around last year, it was a Wednesday match in July in Charleston in which the Battery won by a score of 2-1. Eugene Starikoff had the lone tally in that loss for the Indy 11. We will not see Eugene tonight. We haven't seen Eugene since the beginning of the season as he continues to deal with an injury. More about that coming up in a matter of moments. Time now for the keys to this game. They are presented by your Central Indiana Honda dealers, the official automotive sponsor of the Indy 11. And for Indy, it starts with handling the press.
Absolutely. You take a look at the way that the Battery play. They play with 3 up top and they press high up the field, but it's an educated press. They don't chase, they don't track, they wait for a certain ball, a certain moment, and then they explode into it and they all go at once. Indy's got to be able to handle that. For the 11, they also have to attack the flanks. The Battery plays with 3 in the back. They play very compact, and if you can slide them out wide, it's going to create opportunities for you in the middle and on the opposite side. For Charleston, they got to kill the transition with Kelly and Ina Voltson up top. Those are 2 of the premier scorers in the league. You can't let them get out on the break, and they have to find their early rhythm. In the last 3 matches, they've given up a goal early in the game, and they've actually referenced it. Coach Anhauser talked about how Indy 11 is kind of like Mike Tyson in the day. They come out and they charge at you and they just look for that chin. They can't afford to go down here. Now, the good thing about them is when they do find their rhythm, they've scored 10 of their 13 goals late in the game. So they can withstand giving up an early goal, but you don't want to do that against the 11.
Van Schaik commits the foul knowing he had made the turnover. And pouncing on turnover, something you thought was really key in this game for Indy.
Well, when you have that turnover, you've got to be able to kill it. If you're the Battery, you got to make sure that you can't find Kelly and Ina Voltson when you don't have your defensive shape.
First league match in 2 weeks for the Indy 11. So even though both teams played on Wednesday as a foul is whistled against Indy, they do have somewhat of the fresher legs coming into this match because Charleston played last Saturday where the Indy 11 did not. In fact, Wednesday in the Open Cup, that was the first midweek match of the season for the Charleston Battery. They had played all weekends up until that point.
Yeah, but I'd say the thing that may impact this game more than the fact that the 11 had that week off is the temperature. We've been in, the 50s and the 40s predominantly over the last couple weeks, and now we've been in the mid-80s, whereas Charleston, they're going to deal with that pretty consistently through their training.
Lucas Farias stood up to the challenge from the Charleston Battery player. He does touch it last. Throw in coming here for Charleston. Lucas, as we mentioned, has played 1 minute of one match so far this year. That came in the victory at the Charlotte Independence back on March 15th. It's an Indy 11 team that's not dealing with an overabundance of injuries, but they do have somewhat of a shortage of bodies. Our injury report brought to us by Community Health Sports Medicine, official sports medicine provider of the Indy 11. And Eugene Starakov and Ilya Illich, those guys have both been rather long-term injuries at this point. In fact, Illich has played just one match this season after scoring double-digit goals for Louisville City a season ago. Patty Barrett will take the throw in for the Indy 11. Of course, good to see Patty back on the home pitch after being asked to leave early on May 1st and then not appearing at all on May 4th because of that red card. And we've referenced the fact that Indy played a man down on Wednesday in the Open Cup. That was on Evan Newton. That will be taken care of in terms of having to sit out a match for Evan in the next Open Cup match for Indy, which will be at the Pittsburgh Riverhounds a week from this Wednesday. The Open Cup win on Wednesday night for Indy, their first Open Cup victory in 3 years.
Well, they've been a bit snake bit, and then when you thought you saw that early red card, you start thinking, uh-oh.
Iose going up for that ball, last touched by Romario Piggott for the Charleston Battery. There you see Iose. He did play on Wednesday as well, but he was a late substitution for the Indy 11. So Martin Rennie was kind of able to save some legs on Wednesday night, namely Iose and Dane Kelly, who were both late subs in that match.
And one thing to watch with Iose is he's so creative and so talented getting forward. And Piggott is so fast on the counter, is that if Piggott doesn't track him, if he doesn't make him, track him into Piggott's defensive third, Piggott can get out and quickly they can find him and be in on the 11.
And Iose going to be called for the foul, nudging the Charleston player out of the way, going for that effort. I can see Martin running his second year as the head coach of the Indy 11. Not much time to train between a Wednesday night Open Cup match and a Saturday match at Lucas Oil Stadium. So what did Martin Rennie do on Thursday? Took a ride in the two-seater for the upcoming Indy 500 around the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. He and goalkeeper Evan Newton had that honor as Iose was breaking some ankles out there on the turn. Ruled to be a clean challenge by Charleston. Going both directions, Indy 11 get away with a physical challenge as well against Kotaro Higashi. Both sides looking for a whistle that does not come. Anunga plays a fantastic ball wide.
That was.
Throw in coming here. Iose back in defense to block the cross from Romario Piggott.
And this is going to be an interesting kind of tug and war and chess match here. Who's going to make who blink first? Is Iose going to be so dangerous that you keep Piggott from getting forward, or is Piggott going to be so dangerous that maybe Iose tucks deeper today?
And Evan Newton, about as easy of a first touch as you'd like for the starting goalkeeper. Had a fantastic year last year with FC Cincinnati. And we mentioned he too got that ride around the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. I know that the driver for Martin Rennie was Mario Andretti for his laps on Thursday morning.
Unbelievable.
Opportunity here with some space. Now Mattern had the night off on Wednesday, so you expect fresh legs from Nico in this evening's contest. And a throw in coming for Indy. Here's Carl Ouimet. Got the first 2 starts of the season for Indy, then sat for the better part of April, but From that early Patty Barrett red card on May 1st, he has been in the lineup, and not surprising, knowing Carl, he has not been out of the lineup since.
No, and you know, class act, and this is a great thing for all players to observe. You know, when your name doesn't get called, you know, don't hang your head. You come out, you train, and you wait for your opportunity. When your opportunity comes, like we took, you know, he's not been off the field since.
Good idea by Enevoldsen. Just put it behind Iose, and now a potential counter opportunity for the Charleston Battery. Great communication between Ouimet, Hackshaw, and Newton.
Yeah, and also between Gibson and Iose, because Gibson tucked out into that space so that Iose didn't have to make a sprint back to recover.
Long distance ball that does not work for the Indy 11. This Sports the Match is presented by Community Health Sports Medicine. Dream big, work hard, and finish strong. A lot of activity in the midfield so far in the opening 10 minutes of this match. Potential opportunity here. Goal kick coming for Evan Newton. Target was Arthas Basua. He is one of the new faces on this Charleston Battery team. Played his college soccer at Columbia. We seemingly drop Ivy League references on a semi-regular basis.
There's a lot, and you take a look at it. Look at that as a target for him. What is he, 6'3", 200 pounds? And that was a great ball over the top. Just an unfortunate touch. Otherwise, they've got an opportunity.
Svan Tessen kind of plays a similar role as far as a target player. He's 6'6" when we see potentially number 9 enter this match, as we almost expect him to do later in the match. Talked about his scoring prowess in the open of the broadcast and what he did for Charleston, their Open Cup victory on Wednesday night. That was actually his first match since April the 13th.
They got a couple weapons on the bench. Zico Lewis is another one. He statistically leads them in everything from shots, goals, assists, chances created. He played a lot of minutes on Wednesday night. So, you know, the Battery in a tight match that didn't get the victory until late. He had to play a lot of minutes in that match, but I'd expect to see him here.
Long distance ball for Enevoldsen. Gibson trying to follow it up and is whistled for the foul as he and Piggott collide. Gibson does have a goal this year. Not a guy that gets forward often, but we've been so used to the trio of Enevoldsen, Kelly, and Pasher for the Indy 11. Pasher, who played on Wednesday, likely to come off the bench this evening. So Gibson maybe gets an opportunity to play a little bit more forward this evening.
Such an engine in the middle of the field, though. He does a lot of the dirty work that doesn't get statistics.
He too played for FC Cincinnati last year, one of 4 former members of the now Major League Soccer side to join the Indy 11. Another in Kenny Walker just kept that ball in play and knocked it forward towards Dane Kelly, but no opportunity yet for a 5th goal of the season for the all-time leading goal scorer in the history of the USL Championship.
When you look at the comfort in that ball, Van Schaik heading it back into goal, and you got Mueller next to him. Keeper, center back, outside back, the core of them have been together, what, 13? No, that's like almost 20 years with this club.
Mueller, 8th year with the Charleston Battery, 4th year as the team captain. In fact, he's been in Charleston so long, his teammate in Charleston used to be Dane Kelly, who spent time with the Charleston Battery and scored 21 of his 71 USL Championship goals while playing in Charleston. Some space to operate here. Higashi with the lead. Player got tripped up inside of the box, but not enough contact to warrant a point to the spot. Player that went to the turf was A.J. Patterson. And now Newton elected to retreat on this instead of going to pick it up, but a bit of a mistouch that time by Basua. Leads to an opportunity for an easy clearance from Lucas Farias.
And you take a look at Patty Barrett turns to Evan Newton, and they just looked at each other, a little hand signal. You know, there's a little miscommunication. That's one of those in-between balls that you got to be early with your communication on to make sure that your back knows exactly what you're doing.
Select is the official ball supplier of the USL Championship and many of the finest leagues in the world. Since 1947, Select has been the leader in soccer ball quality and innovation. For the latest Select products and special offers, visit SelectSportAmerica.com. Minute number 15 here at Lucas Oil Stadium. And for those watching outside of Indianapolis, Indy was at home for their Open Cup match on Wednesday, but did not play here. They play just 5 or 6 miles north of here, campus of Butler University at the Selleck Bowl. And now the Indy 11 are back here for each of the next 3 Saturday nights. Special jerseys will be on display next Saturday for the Indy 11. As for the first time in franchise history, they will be playing on race weekend at home. We'll show those Racing Indy jerseys to you later in the broadcast. Believe me, you will want to order several.
They're amazing. Absolutely amazing. I think I was telling you, I got a text from my son at 1:30 in the morning. Said, I'll take a size large in that new jersey if you get a chance.
I don't know if my social media emoji game or lingo is all that strong. I will show my middle age, but I think they're either lit or straight fire, one of the two.
Yeah, I get, my daughter says lit, and she uses it in a variety of terms. Sometimes I think it means it's really cool, and sometimes it's like, it's not cool.
Well, the cool version. Go with that.
I will, but I can't figure it out either. Let's just stay with our terminology.
Neville Hackshaw trying to set up a goal against his former club. Good looking ball here. Gibson back post, but Kuzminski. Again, it's easy to see why he was the goalkeeper of the week in the USL. 4 saves in his 3rd clean sheet of the season for Charleston last Saturday.
Zero hesitation. Zero hesitation. Sometimes you take just a beat to make sure that you understand the flight of the ball and the path of the ball and the traffic in the box. Zero hesitation. He read it perfectly from the kick.
Hackshaw races over to clear that ball away from Basua. Newton, not exactly the clearance he wanted, but effective enough. Throw in coming here for the Battery. Kuzminski played his college soccer at UAB. His 3rd season with the club. Good look at A.J. Patterson there. He played last year with the Bethlehem Steel. We saw him here a season ago, but for a different club. The Bethlehem Steel might be in the minds of the Charleston Battery because that is their only loss of the year. That happened on April the 13th. Charleston comes in 4 wins, 4 draws, and 1 loss. Piggott kept it in play, and Ioze quickly knocks it sideways.
You take a look when the 11 turn it over. Charleston is looking for the space. Is Piggott on? Can we hit it into that space? Almost the same thing that the 11 does. Did you see that composure in the back third? The one-touch play under pressure, calm, composed, breaking the press, and then having a pretty good opportunity to Voltson and Kelly.
We mentioned this in the 0-0 draw against North Carolina FC, especially 2 weeks ago, but I'm not sitting here in minute 19 thinking it's going to be a non-goal game again, but one of the things I keep hearing you talk about these two teams, Brad, is how similar they are.
Very much so. You take a look at they play the lion's share of the match with the 3-back system, the 11. Ioze tucks forward sometimes and tucks back, but you're pretty much looking at Hackshaw, Ouimet, and Patty Barrett. And then you look at the 3-back of the Battery. And here's the thing. Neither one of these teams gives up a lot of goals.
Ioze on point to Kelly. Can he get it to his feet? No.
What a ball.
But we have seen those 50 and 60-yard precision passes from Ioze over each of the last couple of years, and that one couldn't set up for a goal, but yet again, a dime from Ioze.
You just cannot make a mistake. There's 2 ways you stop that. You either got to get pressure to the ball to stop Ioze from getting the serve off, or you've got to beat Kelly to the ball.
Ioze just 1 assist so far this year. The assist leader for the Indy 11 is Kenny Walker with 3. Again, that's in limited minutes as he has dealt with injuries. He's been fully healthy all month of May, but missed a large chunk of the month of April. There's Kenny with the ball at his feet now. One of those guys that went the distance on Wednesday night and back for more this evening. Fans, you can show your Indy 11 pride and get your exclusive Indiana Members Credit Union Indy 11 debit card at any Indiana Members Credit Union branch or log on at imcu.com today. Ball tracked down by Vincenzo Candela for the Battery. Moving the midfield for Charleston. We saw some extended possession along the back line for the Indy 11 moments ago. Charleston could be looking to do the exact same thing. And Hackshaw will watch that ball helplessly go across the byline for a goal kick. Fans, you can follow the Indy 11 and the rest of the USL Championship all season long on ESPN+, home to the USL, MLS, UFC, and more. Join the over 2 million sports fans who have already discovered ESPN+ and watch the championship live every week. Sign up today at ESPNplus.com. Turnover leads to an opportunity here for Charleston. Marini could not get it to go through. He's got a couple of goals this year. Marini in his 6th season with the Battery, although we did not see him last year because he missed the year due to injury.
He's a pacey, creative player.
But he's offside that time. I think when you're 5'7" and 160, and that might be generous on both, I think you have to be pacey. Good look at the Brickyard Battalion, enjoying the roof being open this evening. Boswell goes to the turf, asked for a call, didn't get it. Now can Kelly hold things up for Indy? Looking for Enevoldsen.
Great read by Mueller.
Farias couldn't latch on to Enevoldsen. Farias, a native of Brazil. Mattern, good recovery.
Unfortunate play. You look at Higashi there, he's got 20 yards of space in front of him. He carries a little bit further. One of the 11 defenders has to step and has to try and slow that down, and that's going to open up a lane for him. Just passed the ball a little too early.
Now Kelly onside. Mueller in support. Plays it across, had a man back post, but just overcooked the cross. Enevoldsen was the closest attacking player to it. In all competitions, Enevoldsen got his 3rd goal of the year on Wednesday, just 2 in league play. Starting to see a little more space open up in favor of the Battery. But as they have for the majority of the season, you'll see that space, and quickly the back line will close it down for Indy. Patty Barrett
defended.
Knocks that away from Patterson. Mattern couldn't keep it on his feet.
That's a tough one. You got to be careful in moments like that, because when you start attacking and you start compromising your shape defensively, a turnover there right on the edge of your defensive third could be disastrous for you.
Second-year pro from Germany for the Indy 11. Played 1 year of college soccer at Indiana Wesleyan. Made the team really as more of a tryout player than anything else a year ago. On the cross, we met. Quickly sweeps it away. Finds the feet of Patterson for the Battery. Good tackle by Farias. Counter opportunity here. Shaw had the first goal of the season for the Indy 11. And a 2-1 loss to St. Louis FC back on March 9th. Also got one in their last victory. The 3-0 win against the Bethlehem Steel. 1 week after the Steel had beaten the Charleston Battery. Kelly and Enevoldsen lining up, but I think that's the pass that the front line was expecting. That ball slid behind Gibson. It was interesting to watch. Gibson is kind of playing forward and kind of taking that usual Tyler Pasher role for the Indy 11 tonight.
And the consistency that he has and the effort and the energy he brings, you know, you're not as concerned with him getting forward, because you know he's going to track back and he's going to have the energy to do that for 90 minutes.
Giveaway here. Can Indy 11 pounce quickly? The step by Barrett kept the attack alive. He thought there was a foul there. Official says otherwise.
Now, you've seen good opportunities for both teams on turnovers. The problem is the decision making off those turnovers. Either been a soft pass, a bad pass when you've got numbers, or a turnover off the dribble. If one of these teams can clean that up, that's going to be the difference in the game.
Fans, you can join us every Saturday morning for Soccer Saturday on 107.5 FM and 1070 The Fan. Or you can log on to 1070thefan.com and check out previous episodes. This week we focused on the Indy 11 Open Cup victory, and a big part of that was Jordan Farr making his Indy 11 debut. This is his second year with the team. But with the red card picked up by Evan Newton, Farr stepped into the void and did a fantastic job keeping the shutout and helping the Indy 11 pick up the 1-0 victory.
I'll tell you, one of the great things about how that moment occurs, you don't have to think about it. You're not listed as the starting goalkeeper for 3, 4, 5 days, and you've got your pro debut, and you're going to overthink it. It just happens. And so you get to go out there and you get to rely on your athleticism, your tactical understanding of the game, and just be the keeper.
We talked about that in the interview on the show this week, saying, hey, listen, if you know you're getting to start, you've got family that are thinking about coming into town and things along those lines. Now he knows he's getting to start in the Open Cup match on May 29th. He's from Oregon. His family is planning on flying across the country to Pittsburgh to watch him play in a couple of weeks.
Okay, look, if Jack or Mia gets their first professional start, I don't care.
Yeah, you're doing the game by yourself. I'm gone.
What country it is, you're going to go.
His dad was actually planning on being in town for the 500 next weekend, and now is going to stay in town and drive to Pittsburgh to watch his son likely get his first start a week from Wednesday.
Now, his dad was a player, wasn't he?
I believe so. Down the left flank, great job by Van Schaik of avoiding the sliding tackle from Barrett. However, he could not keep it in the field of play. Throw in coming for the Indy 11.
Yeah, that's tough. You don't want to see Patty Barrett, running down and getting ready to slide. You want to push that ball far and jump as high as you can away from that.
I think that was a business decision by Van Schaik.
Absolutely, absolutely. I'll give you the throw in. I'm going to keep my legs another day.
Barrett amongst that 4 former members of FC Cincinnati. It's he, Walker, Gibson, and Newton. All on the pitch tonight for the Indy 11.
You look at the 3-back of the Battery, and when Indy builds like this and possesses like this. They drop their outside mids and they play a back line of 5. And that's going to be very, very difficult for the 11 to break down. So you see these extended moments of possession. They're just looking for that soft spot. They're looking for the guy who doesn't shift on time or doesn't shift right. And they haven't seen it.
Anunga forces the turnover. 2-man opportunity here between he and Basawa. Not getting any supporting runs yet. Now here comes Higashi to join the play. But by that time, good recovery by Gibson. We've talked about his skill going forward. Now we just saw the skill we've seen from him all year, and that's closing things down defensively.
Yeah, and I tell you, I don't know if you're looking at these errant passes in transition on these turnovers, these soft passes, these bad decisions. I don't know if that's a repercussion of both teams playing on Wednesday night, but both teams are missing that final moment to put somebody in the defensive third when they steal a ball in transition.
Enevoldsen, there's an opportunity. Iose has Kelly. Kuzminski got to it just in time.
A read. What a read. That's a guy right there that has watched film on Kelly and Iose. He can't cheat off the front post. He can't, because Iose will get him. So he's got to sit there. He's got to take that shot away and then position himself so that when Kelly does make that slashing run in the middle, he can get there. What a play.
A save that's almost as sweet as that facial hair. It's close. It's a pretty nice combination he has going. This porch of the match presented by, I'll save you. This porch of the match brought to you by Honda Manufacturing of Indiana, official automotive sponsor of the Indy 11.
I was going to say, man, I've got a cold. Don't make me laugh.
I think that's a key moment of every broadcast for you and I, just cracking up in laughter for some reason at some point, right?
Yeah, but usually I'm quicker on that cough button.
So still scoreless here in minute number 32. Good read by Patterson, however. Basawa was in an offside position, which is why he somewhat lackadaisically went after that ball. The restart needs to happen a little bit further back, says our referee Lucas Zapala. Higashi applying pressure for the Battery. The Battery, one of those great names in American soccer. And let's go back to just the fact that when we referenced Mike Anhauser having ties to an organization for 25 years, that tells you the team has been around for at least 25 years. We feel the Indy 11 now have been a staple in central Indiana and in the NASL first, now the USL. This is year 6 for Indy. 25 years that Mike has been with this franchise, and this franchise exists before Mike got there too.
Yeah, and they've won championships. He won Coach of the Year. You know, he's had opportunities to go elsewhere. I asked him today, I said, what keeps you there? It's like, you know, it's a beautiful place to live. It's a great city. We've got a great fan base. We've got a great stadium. We've got great ownership. And the consistency of players wanting to play there and be there allows them to track down talented guys.
A playoff team a season ago were the Battery. Just like the Indy 11. Long distance ball. Kelly able to get between two defenders.
Flank, but he also knows where Kelly is. He knows the speed, he knows the space, and he knows how far he's got to get off his line to be able to beat him to a ball.
Now, two outstanding netminders in tonight's game. Newton, frankly, has not been called upon yet in the fashion in which Kuzminski has. Think back to the last home game, because really, even a man down, Evan didn't see that much traffic on May 1st. Then he had to be ready in the second half after not doing much, and he's ready to make a play immediately.
Which game was that? Because he had
North
nothing
Carolina
to do.
2 weeks ago.
Exactly. He had nothing to do, and then 2 incredible saves to low right that were both in.
Be sure to tune in on Wednesday, May 22nd. That'd be this Wednesday at 8 o'clock for Wednesday Night Soccer as league newcomers Birmingham Legion FC welcome Nashville SC. It's the week's best match on Wednesday Night Soccer, May 22nd. It will be at 8 o'clock Eastern Time. That's on ESPN News. And this is the part as the Indy 11 broadcaster. I check the schedule and say, good, Nashville SC is coming on Saturday night. They first have to play on Wednesday before coming to Lucas Oil Stadium. Request for a handball, don't get it. Now the ball played forward for Enevoldsen. Turn is forced by Leland Archer for the Battery. Kelly leaves it for Farias. Farias deflected, corner.
That first touch just gets caught underneath him, allows the defender to come and close the angle and get a piece of the ball. If that first touch is a little bit more out in front of him, he's in the goal.
Great decision, though, to let that ball roll through by Dane Kelly.
Oh, clever. Because, you know, he's got a goal scorer's mentality. He wants every ball in and around the box.
Lucas trying to get his first Indy 11 goal in his first Indy 11 start. And this is the combination that was so lethal for the Indy 11 a season ago. The educated left foot of Ioze on a corner. Looking back post, clears everybody. We met the closest player to it, and that will roll harmlessly for a throw-in.
That's tough. You read body language. You could take a look right after Ioze kicked that ball. His head went down, and he knew it wasn't in the spot that he wanted.
This portion of the match brought to us by the Indiana Economic Development Corporation. Take your business to the next level in a state that works. Of course, we talk about Ioze being a creator of goal-scoring opportunities. Folks in Charleston know him for scoring goals. He had a brace against Charleston here last year. One from the spot and the other on a bending free kick that we've come to expect from Ioze. Farias again plays it back post, right idea. Kelly goes to the turf, will not draw a whistle. Goal kick coming for the Charleston Battery.
Smart, smart, smart play. I think that was Archer just slowed his pace. If Kelly was going to get that ball, he was going to have to pick one side and try and beat Archer to the ball. He just slows his run. Slows his run.
Did have a bit of
a little bit.
I would agree, generally not enough to draw a whistle in that scenario, but did extend that arm just a bit. Flick forward here. Barrett. Good combination play by he and Farias.
Oh, what a touch.
Even better from Walker. Thoughts on Farias's home debut?
I've been impressed. He's been in twice on 2 opportunities here in the first 30 minutes. And, you know, he's a half touch away from being able to put a bullet on goal.
Farias, the native of Sao Paulo, Brazil. This is the first year in his pro career that he has played outside of his home country. His first year in the States. Interesting to talk to Martin Rennie during the offseason about, all right, not like you have this extensive scouting budget. How do you go about finding players that want to come play in the States? And he goes, it's all about who you know. Because you always have to have those great relationships you've had for so many years that help you find players that want to come play here in the U.S.
Yeah, and you take a look, when you've been doing it long enough, you've got a guy like Matt Watson who, you know, you've seen at numerous stops. When Matt's not with Coach Rennie, he's with other teams and talking and building relationships with those players. And then when he does find a home back with Coach Rennie or in a place like this in Indy, the guys that know him are calling him up and saying, hey, what's it like? What's he like? And, you know, these are 2-class organizations that every player in the league would want to play for.
Of course, Martin, before he coached with the Indy 11, spent 3 years coaching in South Korea, which is part of the reason why Kim Do-yeon is a member of this Indy 11 roster.
What a ball.
Kim currently not with the team. We expect to see him back in a week or so. Opportunity here for Charleston. Marini, like an old training ground exercise, trying to get around Neville Hackshaw. Hackshaw wins the better of that battle so far, and throw in coming for Indy. Let's finish the story on Kim Do-yeon. tremendous player from South Korea. We've only seen him in limited minutes so far for the Indy 11. He is actually back in Korea working on getting his coaching license, and the team knew that when they signed him before the beginning of the season. They expect to see him back here later this month, maybe as soon as next Saturday's home match against Nashville SC. So we don't see him in the 18 tonight. Also don't see Alex Cronali in the 18 as well. He has 6 starts this year. This is the first USL match he has missed since mid-March. The reason being he's on loan from the Columbus Crew, and they've had the injury bug bite them in Columbus. So he is back with the Crew temporarily. We expect to see him back here in the very near future as well.
I bet he's watching.
Well, hi, Alex. We appreciate you watching this evening. Kelly.
Oh,
great idea. More often we have kind of seen Ina Voltson setting up Kelly and Pasher so far this year. Clearly Kelly willing to turn the tables with that flick forward.
Well, the nice part about both Ina Voltson and Kelly is they draw so much attention that it's going to free up the other one. That if they are unselfish players, they do have that vision and ability to find the other guy. They're going to create opportunities for each other.
By the way, the final 5 minutes plus stoppage time of the first half is brought to us by your Central Indiana Honda dealers, official automotive sponsor of the Indy 11. You see to Brian Anunga, and one of the many veteran members of this Charleston Battery roster. A lot of familiar names and faces from our broadcast of them a season ago.
This is a good position ball for the 11.
Drop one. There you go.
To hear Kuzminski giving orders. Iose to send it in. Ina Voltson will track it down inside of the 18, but Kuzminski yet again cuts off the angle. One time this year, Kuzminski and this team have allowed 3 goals. That was their loss to Bethlehem on April the 13th. This is the 4th road match of the season for the Battery. A win, a draw, and a loss. Ina Voltson trying to find Kelly. Kelly got Kuzminski off his line, but Kuzminski stands tall and knocks one away from an open net.
That was an incredible ball by Ina Voltson.
Ina Voltson last year 20 goals with Orange County. Native of Denmark. Played numerous stops in Europe before coming to the States a season ago. And that's a foul against Dane Kelly. Gonna stop to make sure Anunga is okay.
Oh my goodness. It's like Kelly and Ina Voltson have played together their entire career. They know where the other one is. They could both deliver a ball to find the space or find the feet of the other one.
Reference the fact that Kelly played previously in Charleston. Picked up a lot of his goals playing for the Pittsburgh Riverhounds. Spent last year at DC United, but rarely saw the field. Was loaned out to the Richmond Kickers briefly for part of last season.
Think about that. Think if he stayed in the USL last year. What's he at? 72 goals now?
71.
71 goals right now.
Hoping for 72 this season.
You figure he's worth 12 to 15 in the season. He'd be knocking on the door of 100 goals in this league.
Gibson. Mueller able to win the foot race there. We think we're not looking at an overabundance of stoppage time here at the end of this half. It's been largely whistle free. Ina Voltson leaves it for Gibson, but he's offside.
Yeah.
Flags up.
Yeah, but what a clever ball. What a clever ball. I think Ina Voltson's got 6 sets of eyes. He sees everything in every direction.
And when you hear him talk about, or not just, you see the numbers, you see goal score, you see the 20 he had a year ago, you really don't know about the creator he has been for this team. He's looked to do that almost more than score goals so far this year.
Now, here's the difference between good players, very good
got in the way.
Hold on.
Again, in the second half, there's a lot of scoring punch available off the bench for Charleston tonight. They don't have a full collection of subs. In fact, they have just 16 players in uniform. But the field players they have available as subs all have a habit of finding the back of the net. No stoppage time at the end of the first half. When you glance at the fourth official, he doesn't hold up the board. That means you're done after 45 minutes, as was the case tonight. So the Indy 11 faithful still really haven't seen much in the way of home goals this season. Last one back on March 31st against Hartford Athletic. But they continue to see their team give up 0 goals at home this year. If you include Open Cup play, that streak has now gone to over 400 minutes. 0-0 our score at halftime. Indy 11, Charleston Battery. Halftime show comes your way next as you're watching on My Indy TV and ESPN+.